Before I start this video, I just want to say that I in no way sympathize with Chris Watts at all whatsoever. He's a terrible, evil person who deserves everything he got, and I think he deserved the death penalty. Obviously, Shanann Watts' parents wanted him to they requested that he not get the death penalty and got life in prison, and the DA would ultimately honor that request and let Chris plead guilty in return for a life sentence, and they would not pursue the death penalty. And I also wanted to say that Shanann Watts in no way whatsoever deserved to be murdered or hurt physically or even verbally. So I just wanted to get those things out of the way before I started this video. So it's often speculated that Chris Watts is a narcissist. I've seen a lot of videos talking about him and then Nicole Kessinger and their affair during Chris's marriage, and was Chris a narcissist, or did he at least show tendencies of narcissism? And you can decide for yourself, but that's not what this video is about. I wanted to talk about Shanann Watts, and I personally believe Shanann Watts was also a narcissist, or at least showed signs of narcissism. I know a lot of people act like Shanann was a saint. If you've ever watched a video of some of her live streams, people act like she was a saint and didn't do a single thing wrong in her entire life ever. And honestly, I feel like that is a disservice to her memory. It's really a disservice to her memory. She was a human being. She was flawed and made mistakes like everyone else. And at the end of the day, I believe that she overall was a good person, but, she wasn't perfect. No one is. And I don't think anyone ever will be, but people like to act like she was. And people tend to do that when someone dies sometimes, so I get it, but it's really the wrong way to remember, in my opinion. Shanann wanted everyone to think that she was living a picture-perfect life. So she had the nice, expensive-looking car. I think it was an Audi. And, they bought the big house they couldn't afford in the nice neighborhood. And they went into debt trying to keep up their image on social media, or she did at least. She was constantly live streaming, her life 24/7. And then she was, mixed up in Thrive, which really did a number on their family as well. Mid-level marketing, or maybe I should just call it what they really are, pyramid schemes, can be really dangerous. They can really be toxic environments. They can create an almost cult-like mentality. And when you're trying to sell those products, you have to really get behind them and believe in them yourself and act like you love this product. Even if you don't, you have to act like you do to get people to buy it. So that really changed a lot of the ways Shanann acted in her everyday life, even if it wasn't genuine. So Thrive, it was Thrive, the mid-level marketing company that she was a part of, combined with, I think, her social media addiction, made up for a bad combo. It made her feel the need to record every second of her life and keep up appearances. And you can really tell that Chris hated it. He didn't want to be a part of it. It just wasn't something that he was into. He wasn't comfortable with the constant live streaming and having to act like you're happy 24/7, that nothing's ever wrong. And, at the end of their marriage, they were in massive amounts of debt. It was just piling up, and they were even drawing from their 401k to keep on bills. So I don't know what they were going to do had that not happened, had Chris not murdered them. And I mean, if I know people always wonder, why didn't Chris just get a divorce? And I honestly still wonder that too. But had they gotten a divorce, it would have worsened their financial situation, which was already a terrible situation. They declared bankruptcy a few years prior already, and it still wasn't getting any better. So that would have really ruined them financially. And plus, they had Niko. She was 15 weeks pregnant with their son Niko, so that was going to add to their already mounting piles of debt. and an impending divorce that all made for a terrible combination financially. And really, the worst part of it is, the worst part of it is that Shanann, Niko, Bella, and CeCe were murdered. But I really don't see any indication in Shanann Watts' live streams that she was trying to cut costs and save money. If none of this happened and Chris and Shanann stayed married and Niko was born, I think they still would have tried to live above their means in that house. I think they would have clinged to that lifestyle and that image until the last possible second they could, before they finally admitted that their life was fake and that they couldn't afford any of the things that they had and that they weren't very successful. They just lived above their means and showed it all off on social media to paint a perfect picture of, the American family with the big house, white picket fence. And it's all really just a tragic situation, really. Shanann getting caught up with this need for approval and attention. She really cared way too much about what people thought of her. I get that. Everyone does care about what people think, or I'd say at least most people do. And I do too. But she went above and beyond. She cared way too much about what other people thought of her and her life and her family. And obviously, there's a lot of different factors at play at the end of the day in regards to Chris killing her and Bella and CeCe and Niko. But I think social media and Thrive and Shanann's need to paint a perfect picture of a life contributed in some way to Chris murdering her. It really didn't help. Obviously, I don't think it was the only thing. There were a lot of factors at play. Chris being an evil, twisted person, no remorse being one of them. But I think that Shanann's, the way she lived, the way she wanted to portray herself, doing that did contribute to the murders occurring. And in the end, I hope people remember Shanann as a flawed person who loved her kids and wanted to save her marriage up until the last moments of her life, all while Chris was cheating on her, and then obviously he would later murder her and her daughters and her unborn son. So, was Shanann Watts a narcissist? I don't know. I don't know her. I never met her. I think she did show narcissistic tendencies. I think you can see that even if you're not a mental health professional, which I'm not. But she in no way deserved to be murdered. But I do feel like people remember her in a wrong way, often, as people tend to do when people die.